So as always, traders, I'd like to just start by saying welcome and thank you for your attendance. This has been an exciting road, an exciting journey to get to this webinar. I can explain kind of the backstory as we progress through the presentation, but as always, I want you to know that we're recording the event. We will answer questions, but my team is in here to kind of assist in the chat box due to the size of the webinar. And ultimately, I just can't be bouncing from presentation to questions to comments to feedback. I have to stay on topic or we'd be here all week, right? Everybody knows I can definitely be one to talk and do a lot of demonstrations. So if I can stay on topic, I think everybody would appreciate that. All jokes aside, this webinar is a launch presentation for ARC, and it's one of our flagship products, which is what makes it so exciting for us. And I just really can't speak to how exciting we are to release this algo. When it comes to trading, when it comes to strategies and performance and having an edge, we've built a lot of tools, right? We've got a lot of software systems, indicators, algos, you name it, but there's a few that stand out, right? And there's a few that stand out over time. There's a few that actually generate a lot better performance than others. And we really take our time when it comes to algo launches because we really want to make sure that if somebody's going to turn on an automated system, that there's merit behind it, right? And at least we can show you how to take that machine and turn it into an income generating tool in your toolbox, so to speak, right? So we will go over Q&A at the end of this event. We'll go over the launch pricing. We've got a special offer. We're going to be giving away a free license to an attendee. We're also going to be doing an Algo AMA deep dive tomorrow that Jim, our head of education and sales, as well as Jeff, my head of DevOps, they're going to be doing a deep dive on the actual Algo engine and the enhancements to the Algo and everything that's been added for this release, because not only did we save the engine enhancements for this Algo, but I can assure you that this is going to be a piece of software that is going to catch the eyes of a lot of traders. So without further ado, today is about automated support and resistance. We're going to be looking at multi-TimeFrame Fibonacci Confluence, which in my experience over the last decade of coding as an architect working with some of the best developers in the business, it's literally one of the hardest algorithms that could be built from a code structure, from a strength of levels perspective. And the reason we took so much time building this is because it was literally one of the largest sold products in the company's history. We've got over 75 products, I believe, in circulation, close to 100 now. And we have some that are easy, some that are very complex, some that are very powerful. And what makes the AutoFibs so powerful is that it is 100% leading. There is no lag. There is no backpainting. There is no signal generation that comes due to anything other than forecasted environments, which takes this algo to a completely different category. Like, it's not reactive. There is no reactive state to this type of trading, and it is built on the backbone of the market. And this is why we spent a lot of time building this to get it to where it is. And I think once we get into the details, you won't be sorry you came to this event. I can assure you that. So I do need to cover a disclaimer, guys. As always, can you guys just type a Y in the chat box that you agree to this and that you are complacent and compliant? I need to make sure that everybody understands that I'm not here to guarantee anything. I can't, nor would I want that pressure. I just want to educate and help you with products and services. Should you choose to trade, it's your own discretion. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and backtesting does not mean you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow, right? Perfect. So there's a big discussion about automation, and we're not going to spend too much time on this because the majority of you know it, that there's problems with us as individuals, right? The majority of the problems in trading, 9 times out of 10, it's not just the system, right? There's an underlying factor that gets put into that, and that's called human interference, emotions, mental roadblocks, speed, our ability to handle the tech, you name it, our own trading. And, you know, the reality is that manual trading cannot be the same as automation. Automation serves a purpose. It serves a specific solution to a trader's objectives. It's not about one being better than the worst. I am not here to tell you that you should be a quant, but I am here to help you understand why you would want to look at quant, why you'd want to understand backtesting and optimization, because there's a level of accuracy that cannot be achieved via retail discretionary trading. And you can improve the efficiency of your business through quant analysis, but it has to be mechanical. It has to be systematic, which is why there's a level of testing, which is why backtesting is validated so much, because everybody likes to backtest to give that extra human comfort. But backtesting is not where it stops. You have to backtest historical data to see if there's actually validation. But then there's forward testing and walk forward optimization. There's Monte Carlo simulation, you name it. You can't just take the back test and then expect everything to work in the future. But I can promise you this, that if you're able to back test a strategy, it's going to give you 95% more confidence to want to deploy that strategy in real time, because 100% of every trader I've ever met has never really logged all their trades for the past year anyways. How many of you guys have logged over 100 of your trades in the last 6 months? Like literally wrote down every single trade, studied the statistics, studied the metrics. Can you guys give me a yes or a no, other than the few oddballs? But the majority not doing that, right? And the few that do, you're the outliers, right? So when you compare, exactly, it's too much work. It's hard. It's a lot of time. That's where quant comes in. Quant not only helps you with efficiency and execution and order improvement and being mechanical and removing the human interference, but it also adds a level of confirmation. It adds a level of comfort that brings a completely different element to your trading, right? If you can, if I could sit here and say, hey, look at this strategy, produced $10,000 over the last 25 days, trading X contracts with this stop and this target, that's good information. That's information that you probably don't have with every other strategy that you're deploying, right? And that's why automation is so effective, because you can mechanically deploy data. Now, I don't expect you to be a data scientist. You don't need to go to MIT to come to this event, right? But we need to have that discussion that man and machine are not created equal. They will never be equal, right? And there's pros and cons to both. Now, I'm here to tell you that, you know, sometimes you need to be proud of what you've accomplished, right? How many of you guys have ever accomplished something in your life and you never give yourself credit for it? Can you guys just type a Y that you've achieved a goal in your life and you probably didn't celebrate it? Or you did something that was worth discussing and you said, well, I'm going to be humble and I'm not going to share my experience. I'm sure there's been some greatness that you've achieved in your life that you probably should just pat yourself on the back once in a while, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that this is not about ego. This is not about trying to compete against other vendors. There's a lot of great businesses in the business. But when it comes to algos, we are the leader. We are the best. We are the most thorough. We are the only vendor in the space that has rebuilt Ninja's infrastructure to accommodate the customization, the efficiency, and the effectiveness of proper testing and optimization at a tick level for day traders. There's a lot of other algos out there that operate on time charts and large lookbacks and different types of fractals, but they can't play in our realm. They don't play in the tick level realm. They don't play on the intraday realm the same way. And I'm proud of that. I can actually sit in front of 1,000 people and say, if you can beat me, teach me, because nobody's been able to accomplish what we've done. Which is why this slide is valid. If you're going to use an automated system to run a business, to trade for a prop firm, or run your evaluations, or build and test your algos, you need to know that you're working with the best of the best. You're not just dealing with some random tool that was sold and doesn't have any flexibility, doesn't have features that can allow you to control and manipulate the testing. which is why our algos are not created equal. There's a lot of automated systems that you can buy as a black box, and you can just get it as a signal provider. But they have no ability to test different parameters, different trends, different filters, different money management, different stops and targets, different trailing features, different risk reward parameters, different time blockers, you name it. For the past 2 years, we've been building and building and building upon the core engine that is used across all of our automated systems. And it is literally a product on its own, and you benefit by that by being a quant trader under ARC's technology. So I just want to share with you that you cannot compare us to others. It's not a competition. We are the leader. And we will always be that because we are the best at it. Now, if you have expectations, you have requests, if you have an idea, hey, Sean, add this to your algos. Hey, bring this into the development, add this feature. We've got a wish list, and a lot of these features were added as a result of you guys using our products and innovating with us on the front line. So I want to thank you for those of you that have contributed to these development, because it has allowed our product line to become the best in the space when it comes to quant. So I'm a little proud of that. How many of you guys would think that we've got some pretty badass algos? I know some of you have bought in some of them. Some of you are probably new in here. But I mean, when it comes to what we do, give me a Y in the chat box if you would second that. Excellent. Yeah, I know we got a lot of traders in here using them. So fantastic. So let's talk about why we're here today. What I'm about to show you cannot be done humanly possible. It's not something that you guys would actually be able to do, which is what makes this so powerful. So I'll give you a little backstory. I won't take too much time. In 2016, 2015, 2016, a long time ago, I purchased a product from one of the leading developers in the world on Big Mike's. And Big Mike's forum, anybody here remember Big Mike? It's now Futures.io. There's a lot of developers on there. I mean, you guys, I'm sure you're familiar with it. You know, over the years, there was a very, very famous programmer that was essentially recognized by the world before he retired. And we don't need to get into any names. I'm not going to call out that. If you have any questions on that, just shoot me an email. I'll go into it. But due to the relationship to the buyout, we bought out his source code because it was the most complex engine for Fibonacci Confluence in the business. In fact, there was a few other major vendors at the time were looking at it and were like, wow, like, how do you build this? Like, this is sophisticated. Mathematically, it took 2 years to code the engine to be able to perfect the Fibonacci Confluence that we have. And that's why we bought it. We actually ended up buying out the company for that, buying him out of the business and taking over that. So that's the backstory. That's how powerful this software was in order for us to take it into our ecosystem. It wasn't just some little indicator. It wasn't just some, hey, this is a great idea. This was sophisticated technology that we felt strong enough to do an acquisition on. This was years ago. We have sold more licenses of the Fibonacci Confluence software for traders than it's in the top 3 products in the world for us as a vendor in the last 9 years that we've been selling software. And the reason it's being used by so many traders today is because I have not seen anything in the business that can dictate support and resistance better than this software can. And I will go on record saying that. If you were to say, Sean, if I could give you one product for support and resistance, not supply and demand, they're different. Support and resistance is not supply and demand. Support and resistance is not order blocks. Support and resistance is market structure. And if you were to say, Sean, could you give me one product out of everything that you have in your business that is the best for support and resistance? Hands down, I wouldn't even think for 3 seconds it's the Fibs, period. There isn't anything that can remotely come close to the efficiency of this. Why? Because it leverages multi-TimeFrame Fibonacci. They're not the same, Ben. Ben's saying not smart money. It's not the same. Smart money is market structure from internal and external. This is Fibonacci mathematics, completely in a different realm of discussion. And let me just kind of explain something. The picture that you're seeing on the top is the internal engine of all the Fibonacci levels that are drawn Down here is a great example of what happens when we take this, which is extremely confusing and hard to do, and we bring it into what we call Confluence. In fact, what we do is we take 6 levels of Fibonacci and we measure them over multi-time frame analysis, and we bring them into your trading charts. So whenever you have a level on your chart, you need, in your mind, you need to think, I got 6 levels of confluence lining up to make this a solid trade location. And this could be done from multi-time frames. So these levels could be pulled from a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, a 60-minute chart. Can you imagine having 6 levels of Fibonacci pulled together on a 60-minute chart on your 1-minute entry chart? There's a reason the market stops on these areas. It's not some accident. It's a mathematical certainty, which is why I feel so strongly about doing this presentation. Because like I said, if you were to throw me into the trenches in the war and you gave me one tool to trade price and support and resistance, this would be the most validated levels software that I've ever built in the business. That's a serious statement. So let me just kind of go in here and show you this. I'm going to show you a blank chart, okay? I got 2 tabs here. I'm just going to go in here. This is like, let's say, a 15-minute volume. I just pulled this because it's a higher time frame. So I'm just going to take Fibonacci retracements for a second. I'm just going to draw this. I'm just going to go down here to here. Then I'm going to go here to here. And then I'm going to go from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, there, there. Then I'm going to bring it down. Then I'm going to bring this up. It's a lot of noise, yeah? Now, wait a second. That's just one. Okay. So what was that? That was the retracements. Now let's just do this for a second. Let's go into the extensions. Fibonacci extensions are for trend trading. So here we go. We're going to pull it up. Boom. Let's bring this big leg down. Let's bring this down. There's a huge trend here. Let's pull it back. So there's an example. Now you can understand that there's no way that a human could trade like this. There's no way that anybody would remotely want to even attempt this, but there's something going on behind the scenes. It's kind of like, if you think about the world, as complex as it is, here's the Earth, and here's the sun. Okay, let's just use this as a great summary. Now, you cannot say that it's an accident that by whatever means possible in the realm of quantum physics and the universal energy of all of our solar systems, that the distance from the Earth and the sun is not a random act by God. Now, I'm not here to get into religious theory, but if the sun was any closer to the Earth, we would all be burning hot right now, melted like hot lava. If the sun was any further away, we would be freezing like an ice cube. So why is it that we don't see that to the human eye? Because we don't think about it. We don't even recognize the power of something of that magnitude. Now, what if I told you that inside of all this noise, there's a hidden level of information that you cannot physically see mathematically? Fibonacci is a mathematical sequence that has ties to the universal laws of our world. Like, the Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical concept that cannot be ignored or denied. But what can be understood is that if I were to take more Fibonacci in here, let's just do Fibonacci circles. Let's bring it in. And then let's go in here and let's go into the extensions. Fibonacci retracements, time extensions. Let's bring them across. I got a whole whackload of Fibonacci information, but I can't understand it. But wait a second. If you go into this data, okay, and you don't see this right now, but if you went into this data and you can say, wait a second, there's 2 levels of extensions here. There's some form of a level here, and there's a level here. That's 4, but they're all within a certain realm of each other. That's 4 separate pieces of mathematical information that come from random information points, data points that have nothing to do with what you're looking at on whatever time frame you're looking at, but for whatever reason, they're coming together at this price point. Is there an accident as to why the market stopped there? I think not. I think if you're going to ask yourself what's really going on, is there's a mathematical reason the market stopped right there, right? And there's a mathematical reason why the market responded there today. And I can guarantee you that that's a Fibonacci confluence level when I show you the charts. I guarantee you that there's a huge Fib retracement level that is backed by 6 other levels of data. Now, why is that important? Because it's everything. It's exactly what is the backbone to our algo. This is the backbone to the Fib Confluence software, which is why we've sold more licenses to this than any other software, including, it's in the top 3. It's the top 3 products in the business, period. Like, there's a reason for it. How many of you guys would agree that that would be next to impossible to do on your own? And that if I can show you confirmation that we can stop the market with an extremely amount of accuracy, that that's powerful information? Give me a yes or no that that would be important to you. I'd hope so, right? That's going to increase your ability to want to pull the trigger, right? And can you imagine doing it using multi-time frames on higher time frame information pulled down into a smaller time frame chart? Now that's powerful. So what's nice about this, and I'm just going to get right into the real core foundation of this and why I feel that this is so valuable, is that the number one thing that makes this different than every other algo we've ever built is that it's not to do with lagging data. Like, if I'm trading right here on a chart, I can see in advance where the trade is. Like, the market doesn't have to happen for me to know where the engine is going to execute my trade. I know where the algo is going to fire out, right? And I know for a level of certainty that this is 6 pieces of Fibonacci coming in from whatever time frame I'm telling the algo to feed it. And that's powerful information. Like, that's very, very powerful information to know that there is no lagging, no backpainting, and that this is using the most sophisticated Confluence engine that's ever been built in the history of NinjaTrader's infrastructure. So we leverage multi-time frame on purpose, because if you were to apply Fibonacci just on your default time frame, it's not enough. It's not a big enough edge. We want to use higher time frames to feed the smaller time frames so that you have a much higher probability of the trade working without issues. Bigger pictures drive smaller time frame data points. And then, just simply put, you can't do this physically. Like, it's like order flow. Like, order flow cannot be done physically. It has to be used by some form of an engine or an algo or a piece of software. This cannot be done physically. Yes, you can trade Fibonacci's on a retracement. You could put that on your chart, but you could never do this as an individual. Like, I couldn't. No, it's not possible. Like, it has to be leveraged by a computer. What's nice is that you have the ability to filter the size of the levels. We can filter the filtering of the strength of the levels. We can filter directional and non-directional filters. Plus, we can filter the time frames that we want to pull from. And we'll get into that in just a moment. Now, when you optimize these signals, you're going to be able to optimize the strength of the signal, which is powerful. You're going to be able to optimize the time frames of the signal. You can optimize how many times you want to trade a level. If you've got a support level, how many times do you want to play that level off support or off resistance? We can optimize the size of the buffer zone that is around the signal so that if you don't want to just enter right as it touches the fib, but if you want to touch the area around it, we can optimize for that. You don't need to worry about trying to figure that out. Let the software tell you that based off the historical price action on all these levels, it's better to enter near the level, not exactly on the level, because you're going to miss a lot of trades if you don't. These types of things, right? We have the ability to basically create distance thresholds. If a level breaks, how far does it have to break through it before it's no longer valid, right? These are things that humans are like always asking the question, like, well, when should I trade support and when should it not be support anymore, right? We factored all that into this because we personally just wanted to make it so that when you use it, you don't have to think about anything else. My job as an architect was, how do we take this and make it so that it does everything physically possible that a trader would want to use for support and resistance? Now we have added some really, really cool stuff to the engine that is basically reserved for the release of this launch. How many of you guys knew that we were adding some features to the engine? We've added session blockers and start and stop time blockers, which is completely new. We've added the ability for more filtering for trends, average filtering. We've added momentum crossovers filtering. So I seen somebody post in the Discord the other day, did we update the engine for the momentum triggers and being able to get into the momentum a lot sooner? All of that was put into the launch for this software, done on purpose because we wanted to use it with the fibs for the release of this so that we could give everybody an advantage. So what's really awesome is that this is all a bunch of extra stuff that we've added just to add to the release of this engine. And then once we've released it here, we're going to update all of the other engines accordingly across all the other algos. Yeah. So I just wanted to share with you that, thank you for the patience, because my team worked countlessly around the clock to not only make the algo better, but to enhance the engine so that everybody got all the extra features for testing and stuff. And what's cool about the AMA is that we're going to go through all that, right? You don't have to worry about trying to figure it out on your own. We've updated the training documentation. We've updated all of the training, and we're going to basically do it with you in the AMA. I think, Jeff, you guys are here. I'll get both of you guys to kind of go and do a deep dive tomorrow in those AMAs with everybody so that they can feel more confident in the tools that we've added for the engine. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Here's a great example of the levels in advance. So when you look at this level here, if I'm trading here, I know that this is here. It's hard right edge. That's the difference. So just like smart money concepts with order blocks, just like supply and demand, just like support and resistance, it's the only form of trading that is leading. Like, it's the only form of trading, which gives you power because you can see in advance where the trade's going to hit. You're not wondering, unlike every other algo that happens as a reactive state, you can know in advance where these fibs are and that they're all based off Confluence. They're all based off Confluence. These are not just one piece of information. That's when you ask yourself, why should I trust this level? Like, why should I trade it? Why should I even consider it? Because it's very powerful, right? And because it has 6 levels of Confluence over multi-time frames feeding it, right? That's when you want to execute, right? Yeah, pivots are useless compared to this, Myron. Like, you could put pivots, but they're from one day session. And there you could do pivot Confluence. Myron's asking a good question. What about floor trader pivots, or what about pivots? Yeah, but they're very, very limited in the data sets. You have one level feeding it, right? Like like if you were to add it to, like, it's like building a house on the beach versus building a house on a mountain with rocks building your foundation. Like, you can't compare the two, right? So when you look at support and resistance, you're going to be able to trade long and short off all the areas in advance, knowing where the engine's going to hit, which is really cool because you're not sitting there be like, well, I wonder when the trade's going to fire off. You can see that if we were to come here, it's going to fire your short. If it touches here, it's going to fire your long based off the momentum or the trend filters that you set. If you only want to trade trend, we'll show you that you can trade short in the direction of the resistance. If you only want to trade long, you can trade long in the direction of the support. You could trade both counter trend and trend, which is very, very cool. The other thing too is when you look at the zones, we have the ability to change the size of the zone, which means, if you feel like you're missing trades because you didn't enter near support or resistance, you can optimize for that. You do not have to be guessing, well, how soon should I enter on support and resistance? No. We've solved that problem. We've created what we call a buffer zone. A buffer zone is built off of volatility. And what we do is we study the volatility around every level, and we basically gauge it based off volatility and average range, and it automatically updates in real time. It's fantastic. Like, it's automatically calculating so that you never need to question how big of the buffer zones should be, which means you never need to be like, well, what if I miss the trade? No, if you set the optimization properly, your zones will be the right size based off that market's volatility. If you're trading the S&P, or if you're trading the euro dollar, right? They're completely different markets. Your buffer zones may be different from each market just based off the movement. You don't have to guess that. Our engines will do that. You can test that. Okay. Now, we've also built dynamic buffer zones that allow you to move with the volatility. So if you're somebody that wants it to be moving with the market's movement, we can do that. You can have what we call static buffer zones or dynamic buffer zones, which allows you to take support and resistance and add average range to the levels, which is pretty sexy. And the key here is where you want to enter the trades. So if you've got a support and resistance level, okay, let's just grab here for a second. I'll just show you an example. If you look at the zone edge method, you're going to enter the trade right at the edge of the zone. Okay, right at the edge of the zone. Okay, if you enter the zone midpoint, you're entering it directly at the midpoint of the zone. If you enter on the fib level, you're entering as it's touching the fib exactly. You can optimize these three settings so that you can let the software tell you you should be entering directly on the fib or you should be entering around the edge of the zones. This is like this kind of stuff. How do you know that? That's like taking order block trading in SMC and being able to optimize first touch versus mid zone entries. I would love to be able to do that. It would be a luxury if I could do that. Knowing that I have an area that I want to trade, and I know that by definition, I should be entering at the midpoint versus the edge of the level, right? So to me, it's like we created the dream state. It's like a support and resistance trader's dream is to know, well, where exactly should I be entering off the level? And I'm here to tell you that you don't even need to guess that. You can validate that through testing, and you can see that, you know, we'll let the algo tell you that. Now, what's nice about the signal logic is that we can create restrictions or permissive actions that will allow you to have a certain reaction. I'll give you an example. How many times have you seen a support and resistance level? Oh, wrong color. Let's say you got a level of support, right? How many times you see it come down and do this and do this and do this and this, right? Like, you don't want to be taking 100 trades off a level just because it's bouncing off of it. You also may not want to take a trade here, comes down, boom, comes down. You may only want to take the first and the second trade, but not the third. You're just not wanting to take multiple entry points off the same level. We have that in here. So you have the ability to be able to change how many bars need to happen after a new level is created, how far the market has to move away from support and resistance before it's valid, how many levels it needs to touch, so that you can control it. And like I said, one of the best things about the quant side of the business is that you don't need to guess this. Algorithmic trading is about not having to guess, not having to, well, what about this? Is that better? Is that worse? No, let the software tell you. We have the features. We're going to show you how to test it. We've already built pre-built templates that are extremely profitable, right? And I'm going to show you them today. But if you want to take this to the next level, you can do that, right? You can definitely do that. And we're going to get into that in just a second. One of the features that we just added to the engine was windows, creating blocking windows at certain times of the day. Like if you know you have a news event coming out, or if you knew that you have certain areas of the market where the market just doesn't trade well, like lunchtime or these types of things, we've added that. We've added the ability to optimize and backtest that so that we've actually got templates that have blockers in place versus just letting the algo run wild. And the performance is drastically enhanced, like by being able to stop the algos from trading at certain times versus just only allowing it to trade during a certain window. Like before, we only allowed you to trade between, like, let's say 9 and 3 or 9 and 11. But maybe you want to trade between the entire session, but just block lunchtime, right? And that's what we've added. We've added the ability to select trading window times so that if you can optimize, like, let's say crude oil doesn't really trade well during the open, but it trades really good a half an hour after the open into 11. we've added that so that you can build the best template for each of your markets. This is a new engine feature that was added to this, and it's very, very sexy. In fact, it was really one of the better templates. Yeah. Now here's something like, this was the request of me and a bunch of our users. We added the momentum filter that will allow you to be able to get into the market sooner. So I'll give you an example. If I have a chart, okay, and I got a sub panel, and you know, I've got my market going down, and then I've got my market going up, and then I've got my market going down. And then all of a sudden, you know, you've got your midline here, and, you know, you've got the market goes down, boom, and then it comes down like this, and then it, you know, crosses up like this, boom, and then it comes down like this, and then it crosses up like this, boom. If we're waiting for momentum, right, to cross, then we're really waiting for like this, and we're getting the trend here, but we're not getting the move at the beginning. We're waiting for the market to cross here and momentum's going this way. We're getting into the trend here, but we're missing the beginnings of the moves. Same thing here. Like if we're getting into it here, we miss the beginning of the move. And this is what was a lot of traders were asking is, can we add a trend filter that allows us, like if you take a look at when momentum crossed here, okay, like really right there before it shifted down. But realistically, momentum started changing here before it went down. The momentum crossed the histogram here, but technically momentum changed here before. So what we did was we added a double EMA on the momentum oscillator that allows us to get into the signals a whole lot early. And this is going to be really, really valuable for those of you that are looking at getting into the trend right at the beginning before momentum shifts. And so we've added this filter. You can test, you can optimize with it. It's part of the directional section. And we're going to be adding this to all the algo engines so that when we're testing the fib levels for support and resistance, you can get in early, which is a huge advantage to the testing component. Okay. We've added elements for the trend analysis. We've added crossover filters for EMAs. Before we just had an EMA filter. Now we've added the ability to trade with directional filters. We've added a whole suite of directional filters. So one of the things that you're going to see today is that in trending days, you can really test trading support in the uptrends, right? You can test trading resistance in the downtrends. You can literally also use market structure. You only take the shorts in the direction of price trends, only take the longs in the direction of price trends. Because if you're trading, right, if you're trading in an oscillating market, you could trade fib resistance, trade fib long, right? You could trade that. But if you're in a trending market and you've got a fib level here, and then you've got a fib level here, you don't want to short the market. You want to buy the market. So you'd be buying the longs in the uptrend on the support, and we can test that. And this is why I really wanted the team to add these directional filters in, because it adds the ability for you to build a support and resistance template that is good for range-bound days and trending days. And technically, you could probably run both in parallel every day and hedge. And this is a really, really good concept that if you have a trending template and you have a range-bound template, the concept would be is that by definition, you're probably going to throttle performance on one more the other. And when you're up, you're up. And you won't know that. Some days you won't know you're going into a trending day until you're in it. Some days you won't know you're in an oscillating day until you're in it. And if you have a trend template and you have a range template, you can trade support and resistance and hedge your performance, which I think would be really cool, Jeff, if we maybe built one. You know, we could build one. How many of you guys would like for us to build you a trend template and build a range template and be able to provide that for everybody? I think we could build, we've got a great team. We've got a beta team. Like, I'd love to have our guys. Yeah. Like, I mean, we've got a great group of guys. I got a beta testers that have built this. Like, I think let's do that. Like, you know, we've got some updates we're going to make, but we'll put that on the checklist, Jeff, that, you know, we've got a couple beta testers that produce some really great stuff. Anybody in here that's going to use this tool, we're going to build the templates and add them for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really great, cool thing that we could do for you guys. Yeah, just because we already have built some templates, but I really think it would be cool to have a hedge scenario where we could give you that as an added benefit for all of the users. Yeah. Yeah. It works on all time frames, Rich. All time frames. That's the key. Yeah, it's universal. So we're going to show you some examples. The money management filters are obviously part of the engine. You can auto trade your entries with trailing stops, multiple exits. You can exit based off money management filters, loss filters. This is standard with all of our algos, but I just want to let you know that it is there. For those of you that are new in here that don't know that, we have the ability to stop trading after you've reached your targets and goals. You'll get a pop-up that'll tell you, hey, you can't be trading anymore. You've hit your max loss or you've hit your goal, stop. Like we have that, and you'll see that the bars will gray out, and you'll be able to see that that's the way that the software is designed. You can scale out multiple exits and trailing stops and targets, which is a really big feature for trade management. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm very, very keen on is understanding the difference between testing. So this is an example of an image that we took on the Algo mid-month. We've got updated templates for the rest of this month. And what's interesting is like these templates, I'm just going to come out and say that these templates, this is the back testing side of it. And these stopped actually mid-month. What's interesting is that we've actually got new templates that show that this just kept going. This just kept going up. So we're going to show you the forward testing. But the back testing was very, very, very solid with this type of a system. Very large profit factors, very low drawdowns, very high win rates, very good ARM multiples. Everything you could ask for in an automated system came from this. And I knew that. I know that's an arrogant comment, but it's not meant with arrogance. I knew that this software would be very, very good because I know that the support and resistance levels are very, very effective. So I was like, the truth is, and I'll just come out and say it, the reason why it took so long to release support, resistance, and supply demand algos is they are 10 times harder. Like they're just 10 times harder to perfect. Like they're not based on momentum and signals and they're forecasting. They're being able to project information and take trades before it happens. From a coding perspective, it's much harder. So we took a lot longer to perfect it. But I knew that if it was done right, it would be better. And that's why we spent the time to do it, because hands down, it's just better. Like it's just, I'm not even going to try to sell it to you. It's like, there's no comparison. Like they're just better. You have leading analysis forecasting trade locations. Let's take a look at the forward test. We ran it forward again on that exact example sample size into the future, and we still produced very, very large outcomes on this, which was like, if you look at a backtesting environment, right? We just take a look at the backtesting environment, right? Historically, okay? And then we run the forward testing. That's when you know, when you run it forward and you keep the algo going and you have good performance, you have a very solid system. Why do the forward tests work so well? Because it's leading analysis built on 6 levels of Fibonacci confluence, period. Mic drop. That's the way it is. Like it's not momentum. It's not, well, it's going to wait for the market to do this. No, we know in advance where the trades are happening, period. Just like we would plan any type of major level software. So let me just kind of go into some examples. Like when a trade fires off, you're going to see it fire at the level depending on your entry, depending on if it's a trend setup or if it's a reversal setup. You're going to see that. You're going to see the levels fire off on support and resistance. Depending on how you filter the trades, you're going to see them. Like this would be a great example of both. Like to me, this is a downtrending market. The downtrend produces bigger trades. I would arguably think that a trader could take these and build trend templates. And if you know the trend, you take only the trend signals, but for large ARM multiples. That'll drop your winning rate, but you're going to make a whole whackload more money. And it just depends on how you want to structure this. Ultimately depends on what type of an eval you're running or a prop program you're trading with. But this is a great example of the market's in a downtrend. Take a look at the short, but take a look at how well that fib level held. Take a look at here. This is a counter trend trade. This is a with trend trade. So these are the things that you can do with the software. You can filter for both. right? Here's a great example of just taking multiple levels back to back. You catch the bounce, take the profit, comes back for another bounce. You can filter that, right? You can filter multiple touches, one test versus two tests versus that, and you have that flexibility. Yeah. Yeah. Here's a great example of live. We just started taking trades because we were, when we test, we have to trade it. When we validate the software is working, we have to trade it. So we trade it, we run it through QA. We have a QA team that runs this. We know what we're doing when it comes to this. And so we just take all the screenshots of trades that are firing off as we're running the betas out, right? Here's a great example of just multiple trades, just firing off on the levels. And, you know, you don't see any trades happening in the middle here because of the time blockers. There was no trades here due to the time, right? And maybe there would have been a long here and, you know, all that stuff, maybe a long here, maybe a short here. We don't know that. Yeah, I don't know how they set this template up, but I can tell you that these trades didn't fire in the middle because they blocked by time. It was a time block template. Yeah. Which is part of the testing. So when you look at algos, I know a lot of traders ask, does it have to be fully automated? Can we run it as a semi-automated system? What if I just want to turn it on when certain times happen? You can do that. You can combine an algo with anything you want. You can do it as a directional system, non-directional system. You can do it as a fully automated bot. You can semi-automate it, depending on how you want to run it. But you're not restricted. This is not a black box. These are quant algos that have the flexibility to be able to run these and be able to do that. So what I want to do is I want to show you some of the templates that we've pre-built. I'm going to talk about this one first. This was one of the templates that we built. I loaded it to yesterday just because we set all this up for the event, and I just want to kind of show you. We ran this since this month. This is this month on this template, right? And you know, I had a stall out day as a break even day. Like there you can see here, we had 2 days where it was break even, and then just kept going, right? This is on, let me take a look here. No, let me just go to this. I'm gonna show you two templates here for a second. We're gonna do this one first, and then we're gonna go to that one in a minute here. Okay, so here's a great example of this one here. Huge profit factors, right? This one has less trades on purpose. This one, okay, was designed to be restrictive, but it's very, very effective, and it does what it's supposed to do. This chart is going to do what it's supposed to do. I'm gonna have to clear that because it clearly, that's not what I want. There we go. Let's go back and take a look at some of these trades. Let's just go back here, take a look at some of these, okay? So these fibs, just to kind of explain what they are, if I go into this, if you go up here and you explain what we've done here, these fibs are based off the 15-minute chart. So I'm on a 5,000 volume chart. This is a 5,000 volume time frame. You're going to come down here. I'm going to show you why this is so powerful. Okay. I'm on a 5,000 volume chart, which is, Jeff, I think it's like what? 5 minute, 3 minute?
Like 2-3 minutes. Something
2-3 minute. Yeah. So this is like a 2-3 minute chart, but these are 15-minute fib levels. So this is where I have the ability to tell the software, I want to pull the fibs from the 15-minute time frame and only take the strongest levels, and I can control the size of the Fibonacci retracements and the extensions to either being small, large, you name it. I have complete flexibility over that. What's really cool is you can optimize for this, and it takes the guesswork out of how strong should I have the levels, how big should the swings be, what time frame should I optimize and use, right? You can pick a 60-minute. You could pick a 4-hour. You could pick a 5-minute and go down to a 4-tick Renko. You can do all of that. I'm just here to tell you that we pre-built some really stellar templates that have really good results on using higher time frame fibs and then entering on smaller time frame entry charts. So imagine if you're trading on this is a 3-minute, right? This is a 3-minute chart. And if this was running live, every time you see this, your mind is saying, that's 6 levels from a 15-minute chart. That's powerful, right? Like, and if I know I'm in an uptrend, that's a really good long here that would have entered here as well, right? Not taking the shorts if this was a trend trade, right? So these are the things that you can do with the system but we've already built it. You don't have to think with this template. It's already constructed. We've already basically built it. Okay. We've already constructed the, like, I mean, last week, every day was a winning day last week. The week before, 4 out of the 5. I mean, like, had a losing day, winning day. I don't know what it did today. I haven't run it, but the thing is that when you go into this, this isn't even our best template. This is like one of the templates. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to the other one here, and it's the same time frames. I think it's the same time frame. And what we're doing is we're just blocking filters on time. So what you're going to see here is that we've basically said, we've basically told the software based off the testing that certain times are not good to trade. So we don't trade during those times. So what we do is we use that analysis to be able to tell us when we should be trading and when we shouldn't be trading. And it improves performance a bit. It allows us to be able to be more restrictive. Okay, here's a great example of short, long line. Now, here's a great example of having a trend versus a trend trade versus an oscillating template. I don't think they're filtering for trends on this template, but what I will tell you is that if I know that I'm in a trending environment, right? Momentum is up, taking out structure. I only want to be taking the longs, better trading. Same thing down here. You can see these longs. Yeah, they worked, but it's still counter trend. So do you want to trade a trend setup, a counter trend setup? The power of support resistance is, I truly believe that we should have a range template and a trend template, and then you hedge the market conditions. And like I said, I think that'll be really, really smart for us to do that. Yeah, these are already pre-built. These are all templates you can have, Gene. You can have these templates with the software. Yeah, we've built these. You don't have to do anything. It's already plug and play. And you can run these templates in live markets and you can use them. Yeah, absolutely. These are big profit factors with 80% hit rates with an R multiple of over a half, 0.7, right? This is, we're at a 0.7 R multiple almost with an 80% hit rate with a 3 profit factor. Non-lagging data. This is all support and resistance. Okay. So let's go into, something that I did here on a random act here is that I kind of dropped the time frame a little bit. Okay, and what I did was I just dropped the time frame a little bit. And what I did was I went down to a 15-minute time frame, like a 1 minute. So what I did was I took the same templates that were being used on like the 3 and the 5 minute chart, and I just went down to one template, like one 1 minute fractal. And I took the same template that was doing, and I just dropped it to a smaller time frame, and the profitability just shot straight up. Like it wasn't even something that, it was kind of like, it kind of happened by accident. We'll take a mulligan. It's like, you didn't even know that you could test with different time frames on this template. But I was able to find that, hey, like even dropping the time frame down, not changing the settings of the engine and the algo that we optimize and test, but all we did was drop the entry time frame from like a 3 to 5 minute to a 1 minute, same fractal, same everything. And all it did was increase the profitability by thousands of dollars. And, so when you look at what we did here, it just took away the losing trades. It took away the losing trades that happened in the losing days, which was like, this template didn't have a losing day this entire month. And I didn't even, we just stumbled on that, which is, we'll give it to you. Right. And so this is just kind of an understanding of, I guess for me, if I'm going to trade something, like, I don't know about you, but anything over 1 is profitable. Anything over 2 is exceptional. Anything over 3 is like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Right? Like, and this is a lot of trades in a month, 70 trades. How many of you guys have taken 70 trades this month? Anybody here taken over 70 trades? And you log them and you have the ability to statistically show me your stats on 70 trades? We're not just testing a week here, right? This entire month of data. As a quant trader, that's pretty important, right? So if I go in here to the chart and take a look at the setups here, and if I go into this, you're just probably going to get more trades. Looking at the setups here, you're going to get more trades coming in on the algo. What's nice is that it's clean trading. Like, What's really nice about this is that it's clean. And for me, I like clean charts. I like trading price. I like trading, you know, levels. You can see here how we took 3 shorts off the same level because it met the criteria. Now you can see, like, you may not want to trade this long, right? We're going down, we're taking out multiple levels of structure. You could turn that off. But if you let the algo do what it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's trading the 15-minute levels without issues, right? You know, in a strong trending day, like, take a look at this. In a strong trending day, let's just do this for a second. In a strong trending day, and this is what I mean by the power of a trend filter and the power of a support and resistance. How many of you guys, market's in a downtrend, sell resistance? It doesn't get any easier than that. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you know that we're breaking structure down, trend is down, everything is saying down, all you're doing is shorting here, shorting here, shorting here, shorting here, and trading the shorts, not taking the longs, et cetera, et cetera. This is why you can put a trend filter in place and have best of both worlds. Like, this is why I truly really think that levels trading allows you that flexibility to do that. If you're a momentum trader, if you're trading signals, or if you're waiting for some type of a reactive state, you can't do that because you can't see things in advance. Like, if you're a momentum trader or an order flow trader, it's happening in them now, but you can't plan it in advance, which is a disadvantage to a lot of people because a lot of people want to see things in advance. How many of you guys like to see your trades before they happen, knowing you're going to get into a trade before they happen? Like, how many of you guys like that proactive state where it's like, there's my trade, I know I'm going to get long or short there. You have an understanding of what you're doing versus like, okay, why did it take a trade or what's going on there, right? There's a big level of confidence that comes from being proactive versus reactive. And the only way to have that is with leading technology, like not using signal generators, but having the ability to do that, right? So this is a template we'll give you. You know, this is only trading one contract. It's only trading one contract. The average risk to trade was, you know, less than $350. You could pass evals with this, no problem. Like, the drawdown in this is, like, come on, right? So it's really a simple tool. I believe in simplicity. I think that it can really do a good deeds to traders. I also like to value people's attention. And so how many of you guys want to win a free license? I'm going to do a draw right now. And give me a second here. We're going to launch this. You know, just put in the poll if you want to be put into the draw roster. We'll announce it via email. Ashley always announces that, and always we'll announce that via email. We'll put that in the Discord, etc. So if you are interested in getting a free algo, also if you purchase and your name gets drawn, we will refund you. We've had to do that before, so rest assured, we're not here to worry about nickels and dimes and all things in between, right? If you do decide to buy this and you do become the winner, we will refund you your money. It's that simple. Yeah, Ben, no problem. Yeah. So excellent. All right, guys. So I think that's pretty much it. We've got over 70% participate in the poll. It's good enough for me. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. We're good. Okay. So yeah, it is. It is very good with regards to that. So thank you for that. We've got the poll. So essentially, you know, where we're at is, you know, we come to the end of the road, right? How many of you guys enjoyed the event? I try my best to keep it simple. I think a lot of people overcomplicate the algos when they don't need to be. If you go into what I'm trying to show you here with regards to the fibs, is that Well, let me show you an example. Okay, I'm gonna do something that I wasn't planning, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I think it'll be really help you understand the power here before we get into anything. I'm gonna show you something. Give me a time frame. Give me a market, any market. Okay, any market. Okay. NQ. NQ is being traded by many people. Let's do that. NQ. Give me a time frame. Give me a time frame. Anybody? What? 5 minute? 1 minute? Like give me an NQ. All you NQ traders in here. Which time frame? 5 minute? 5 minute? Okay, I get too many. Not everybody's saying different stories. I'm gonna use a 5 minute. Okay, so let's use a 5 minute chart. Okay. Oh, let's use a 2 minute just to keep it a little bit more on the day trading side. And I'm going to put 5 days of data on here. Okay, so I got an NQ chart. We're going to do this here. It's pretty simple. We just load 2 days of data. Everybody can see that. Okay. So the reason this is a powerful chart is the NQ is a pretty powerful chart, right? It's a mover and groover, right? We went straight to the moon. Obviously news today, right? So what I want to do here is I want to kind of help you understand the power of the levels because an algo can only be used if you trust it. And I really want to show you that this is one of the most things I trust the most. So let me just, and this isn't some sales discussion now. This is me as an architect going into the trenches, showing you what I did to build this with our team. I'm going to go in here. We have a tool called the Golden Fibs. It's an indicator. We took it and we built it into an automated system. That's usually how algos become algos. They come from indicators and concepts. So I'm going to go into the Golden Fibs. How many of you guys own the Golden Fibs from years ago? I mean, there's a lot of Golden Fibs traders. I know there's a few of those probably in here. Rick, yeah. Ben, Heinz, all you guys. Tijon, yeah. Ricky, yeah. There's a lot of you guys, okay? So let me just kind of go into this for a second. I'm going to load the Golden Fibs to the chart. Okay. Now give me a second as I turn the graphics off for a second. I'm going to turn the graphics off for a second. We're going to do a few things. So I'm going to turn all this stuff off, all the plans off. Okay. Just all that stuff here. Now what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm just going to go into the core functionality to help you guys understand. I'm going to do this on the side here. We're going to do this on the side so that you guys can see why this is so sexy. Okay. This is a 2 minute chart. Okay, I'm going to just draw a little circle. It's a 2 minute chart. Okay. I'm loading these fibs from the 5 minute. What you may not know you have the ability to do is I can change the swing time frames that are coming from the 5 minute chart. So if I want to make the lines smaller, I make them smaller. If I want to make them more powerful, I make them more powerful. Wait a second. You're telling me that I can turn the strength of the levels up? That's the reason why you can't take supply and demand and say, make it stronger, make it weaker. You can take this and say, I don't want to trade all the noise. I only want to trade the shit that's really going to pay me. And I could even go to the largest and make it even bigger. Now, wait a second. I've just taken the 5 minute chart. These are levels that I don't care who you are. You can see that. You can see that. You can see that. You can see that. Okay. Now, if you turn the buffer zones on, you would be able to enter here at any point. So when I go to change the strength of your algo, you don't have to optimize anything other than this. In my opinion, I would keep the zones at the default settings. I would optimize the entry point and the swing size and the time frame. There's 3 things that I think that drive this. The first one is the time frame, which you're pulling from higher time frame charts. Very, very powerful. The second thing is the strength. Okay. And the third is just your entry location. We can tell the algo to tell you each of these. You can take the engine with the algo And you can let the software say, trade this time frame with this strength setting and enter the trades like this, which is why it took so long for us to build this. And this is why I trust this more than any other level software that I've ever seen in the business across us and any other software company in the world. That's why I bought the source code, and that's why I bought out the company vendor. So when we go into this, let's change it to a 60-minute chart. 60-minute, there's the 60-minute. Pretty vague, right? Well, let's drop it down to, let's go down. It's pulling it from the 60-minute. Let's keep going down. If I were to take a look here, do I have any other levels above me? Wow, those are 60-minute fib levels. I know that there's going to be a sell there, and I can almost guarantee there's going to be some form of a reaction off those levels, period. That's a 60-minute level. You can run the algo off of that if you wanted to. Doesn't mean you have to, but you could go that deep and granular. You can basically take it and basically say, I'm going to make it a little bit less restrictive. Take a look at that. Those are 60-minute levels that are strong settings on the increase side. I don't know about you, but if I came here and I was able to take an automated entry, I wouldn't hesitate, because I know that that's coming from a 60-minute level with 6 fib levels lining up over multiple time frames, telling me that the market's supposed to stop there. There's a reason why it reacted here. This is not by accident. This is 6 levels of information coming from the 60-minute time frame. Same thing here. This is not some small piece of data. What we had to do is, how do we take this and turn it into an algo? That's what we did. That's why when you go to this chart, these are from the 15-minute. And these are on the default setting. I could change this. I could drop that. I could increase the settings if I wanted to, but I don't know if that's going to be the most profitable setting yet. Hence why an algo can test it. And we're going to teach you how to test this. We're going to teach you how to do all that with the AMAs and the detailed training. Plus, you don't have to start from scratch. We've already built the templates for you. So you can take all of these winning templates and use them, and then learn how to really tweak the system for leading trades. I think that if you're using any algo right now, I would put it down and I would spend a week mastering this. I truly believe it's going to change the way you look at trading with automated systems. Levels software is very hard to automate. Very, very complicated. Done right, we did it. Took us a long time. So that's my spiel, guys. I just wanted to show you why this is so powerful. Wrong button. Unless you guys want to read legal contracts, I'm sure we've got more things to do. That's it. We'll announce the winner. We are going to announce a launch discount. So normally this would be around $1,500 for 2 computers. It's one of the most complicated stuff that we build, so it comes at that price point. We are going to give you 50% off. You get all the updates on the software, so when we enhance it, add features, etc., you get it. We get a lot of documentation for this. You can use it on 2 computers. We can help you install it if you're new to the NinjaTrader ecosystem and you're new to the installation or anything like that. But we're going to give you all the templates. Plus, I'm going to have the team build a trend and range template for you guys. So be sure to make sure you check back with us. We'll get that out as soon as it's ready. And we're going to do an AMA tomorrow. So you're going to want to have the software for that, because you're going to need the software for that, because you're going to need to follow along with us as we do things. So we're going to be hosting an AMA tomorrow, and you need to kind of be following the leader, so to speak, right? It's like you can't really do things unless you're there with it and you're following along, right? Like, my objective in these AMAs is not to just, it's not a sales event. Like, the AMA is not a sales event. This is not like, hey, no, this is where you take the training wheels off. We want to show you how to use it, how to do it. So if you're going to become the best at this, you got to join the AMA. Okay. And I think Jim posted the Zoom and everything there. You're good. It's that simple. You know, and we're going to update all the other algo engines. Link is not showing 50% off. Good question. Maybe we'll check with Jim. Jim's a sales manager here, guys. He's got you all set up. And
let me check it out right now. Yeah, I see that actually. Let me fix that.
Jim's going to fix it, guys. If it's not broken, don't fix it. In this situation, it's broken, right? So we'll fix it, guys. And stand by here. And so what I'm going to do is just open it up to you guys. What I want to do here is we'll send a recording, John, no problem. I'm going to run a poll. So the reason why I ask this is for two things. I'm a straight shooter, guys. For those of you that know, I'm not here to kind of waste your time or give you any bullshit, right? Two things I need to know from you. One is for support and installation. Give me 1 second. And two is for the AMA, right? We're going to be bombarded by everybody that's doing installs, and we've got a lot of people. Like, algos are one of the most hottest things for us, and we need to help everybody install it, get the training, get access to the templates. I also need to make sure that our team is prepared to help with the AMA. So I'm going to run a poll. If you could just do me a favor and tell me, be straight with me. If you're going to get it, get it. If you're not, just say, no, I'm not getting it. Like, I need to know, because I have a whole whackload of people that need to help you. And I need to make sure that I can assist you to get you guys to where you need to be with this tomorrow, right? Like I said before, if I were to pick one tool for support and resistance, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it in the business that we've ever built. It's the only levels algo we've ever built. It's the first of its kind. And it's powerful. I can assure you this. If you have questions, everybody in here that's saying I've got questions, okay? And if you need assistance, my team is going to follow up with you, okay? Jim is going to follow up with you. Jim, you got a lot of people here that are getting it. So, yeah, everything's recorded. Everything's recorded. It can be used on any market, any time frame, anything. Yeah.
Yeah, try to make it to the AMA tomorrow, guys, if you can. If you have questions, come on in, bring your questions. It's better if we get them all at once, obviously, for the sake of time. And then if you can't make it, obviously just send me an email. Happy to help out and all good. Some cool stuff in this new algo with the time blockers and the new momentum stuff. Some really, really slick stuff they did here, guys. Really cool. Try the link now. It should be working. Let me know. Should be the discount. I don't know why it wasn't working. It was set up for today, and apparently the system didn't like today. It needed yesterday. I don't know. So try it now.
So just to kind of end with this, for everybody that said you're getting it, fantastic. We've got your email list. Just use the link, purchase now, get the installation done now so that Ben and our team can do that. And then ultimately, for those of you that are still have questions, want to talk to us, Jim's going to pull your poll, and he's going to follow up with you. Over the next day or two, you guys can book time and talk or ask questions via email. Just remember, there's a lot of traders that are getting ready to use this, and we have a lot of algo traders, so I could just be mindful of the time on that. And yeah, the algo AMA is tomorrow. Do we have a coupon for anybody, Jim, that's purchasing? Or like, is there a like outside of this, like for future purchases, did we authorize that?
We didn't. He's throwing curveballs.
All of you guys that have questions, reach out to Jim. He's got the discounts, the coupons, and everything that you guys need. Anything you guys are interested in, just let us know. He'll take care of it. And the coupon's already there for 50% off. Yeah, so that's the thing. Should I throw the curveball, Jim, or what? Like just give everybody some greatness? Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, that's it. Just depends on how much you want Ashley to work.
Am I in a good mood or am I in a bad mood? How many of you guys are on the fence and it's a deal breaker? Price is always a deal breaker. How many of you guys are interested in value? Value. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. Okay. We've already discounted the software. We've already discounted the software. We can't discount this anymore. But anybody who buys this can follow up with Jim, and he's going to get you hooked up with a coupon for future anything in the business. Ashley and Jim, it's extra work for us. It's a lot of extra work for us. So normally we don't do that because it does require a lot of hand extra stuff. But a lot of you guys are return buyers and customers. We want to give you guys the ability. We have a lot of products in our store. So I'm going to let Ashley and Jim work their magic with you. But I've already given the authorization on record. Jim, you can answer with
turning
Ashley.
back now.
No turning back now, that anybody that decides to buy this, we're going to give you an extra coupon for future purchases that you can use as well. And just as our way of saying thank you for all the business and thank you for everything we do, we try to make it affordable and effective for you guys. And that's my way of saying thanks, guys. So it's the best I can do. We can't discount anymore on the launch on this. It took us 6 months to a year to build this. It's a lot of money goes into the building, right? And so it's just know this, yeah. So anyways, guys, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for giving me time to present this with you guys. Make sure you join that AMA. And for those of you that are purchasing, make sure you check with Jim on the extra coupon. For those of you that need to talk with Jim and all that with regards to questions, let us know. And Jeff's here for any dev discussions or anything requirements that you guys need. And just know that we got your back. Thanks for being here, guys. And get rocking and rolling. If you have any questions, we'll open up. There's already a thread in the Discord for this, so that you guys can use it for communication and questions, and all of the support and resistance traders can use that thread. I believe it's already here, if I'm not mistaken. Let me show you where that is, guys. So if you're in the Discords, I already have it. Let's do this here. 1 second. So we've already added a thread in here. So it's right up here. It's the AutoFibs Algo under the ARC section. The AutoFibs Algo. And yeah, post your trades, guys. Post your trades. Ask your questions. Anything in here, Jim and Jeff and my team will go in here and address them periodically so that we can help you. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day and happy trading. Take care.